speaker who is going to be talking about something very important. It's think, just 3 words. Think, create, and innovation. And I'm just going to quickly just read out his profile. Ozoemena Mbanefo, known as Ozone in the ad world, he's the Provost of O2 Academy, Lagos. He's one of the leading hands on in brands and digital marketing communication creative school in Nigeria. It's an initiative that has produced hundreds of admin working in most of reputable ad agencies across Nigeria. He's worked in local and multinational brands, Fanta, Evertable Water. I cannot read everything, my mouth will be paining me. So let's just welcome him. A round of applause. For when I heard Ozone, I thought, is it the Ozone cinemas? Oh no, but can welcome Ozoemena Mbanefo to the Drive Conference. He's going to be speaking about think, create, and innovate.
I entered, and some people didn't clap. If you didn't clap, and if you're not clapping, you're beefing me. I'm only kidding. I don't mean it, but wow, that's creativity. The truth about today is that I really don't know what to tell you. Please, enough of that creativity. So I really don't know what to tell you, but I'm going to share a few stories of what I think every young person that wants to make history and would like to be where he or she aspires to be should do. You know, they invited me. In fact, I learned about this program for like, it's about 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood. And I understand I'm going to be talking to creative people. We're all creative, right? Good. And so I think I'm going to share with you what makes a creative creative. And I will share just the 3-letter word principle that has helped me. And I'm going to tell you how I started, because sometimes people want to know how you started and, you know. Are you interested? Yes. Okay. NYSC brought me to Lagos. I schooled in the East, and I got to the NYSC camp. Guess how I entered the advertising industry? Because there were no advertising school then, and for you to get into the industry is very difficult. Guess how I was able to join the ad industry? Makosa dancing. If you doubt me, play Awilo Longomba. Here, you people will spray me money. I know somebody here is looking at my tummy. Forget the tummy.
That's the best part of it.
That's it, with an attitude. I came to Yanipaja NYSC camp and I danced Makosa at the Guinness stand. And I got recognized. I became the best Makosa dancer at the NYSC camp. I actually won a TV set. If you're not clapping, you're beefing me. See, can I be honest with you? Can I be honest with you? When you clap, it inspires us. It's not easy to stand here and talk. Trust me. Correct. And some of you that are not clapping, I'm watching you. You will not graduate. You know, and when it got to the finalists, the Guinness brand manager saw my dance, and after the competition, he walked up to me and said, "Boy, I love your steps, your moves, or something else. And I looked at him. I said, bros, I love your job. Can we do an exchange? Because after NYSC camp, now your struggle continues. NYSC. I said, bros, I need a job. You know, you need to use what you have to get what you want. And the guy gave me his complimentary card. He said, this is an advertising agency that will work for us. You get there, tell them you're from me, and they're going to give you a test. I said, thank you. I didn't know that was the beginning of my trouble. I got to the ad agency with my full camouflage, NYSC, feeling like one bad guy that once I just show up, they will give me the job. Bros, I showed up. They gave me a test, and thinking that I will write based on, I studied mass comm, and I finished, and I failed without fear nor favor. You know when you fail with passion? And the woman was like, you're not even ashamed to look at what you wrote, blah, 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 blah. I said, ma, can I be honest with you? My dad forced me to study mass communication. I'm an artist by nature. I can draw. If I draw for you, you will dash me money. The woman was like, stop that. Maybe someone has told you that we need illustrator there. And for your information, I'm bad like that too. No, you didn't get my point. It's not boost. If you try me, 5 minutes, I sketch you. And I don't use pencil. I use my barrel pen because I don't clean. Clap. So the woman was doubting me. I picked up an A4 paper from her printer and I sketched her within 15 minutes. I showed it to her. Her name is Jolomi Ikoko. I showed it to her and the woman looked at the picture, looked at me and picked her intercom. And these were her words. Hello, Mr. Abraham. I think we've seen the talent we're looking for. Right there, I knew I got the job. Why? Because when you have content, people look for you. Content is king. That day, they gave me my employment letter and I resumed as an illustrator. And that was how I started my career in advertising some 19 years ago. You know, some of you, 19 years ago, where were you? Where were you when we were where we were? So today, I'm going to share with you the one principle that has helped me over the years, and if you apply it, you're going to do well. It is in 3-letter words. ROI. How many of you know the meaning of ROI here? Return on investment. Cool, but half truth, and I'll tell you why. Because it is this particular ROI that gives birth to the real ROI. It is relevance, originality, and impact. You can write it down. Relevance, originality, and impact. And a lot of times I tell people, if you are not relevant, you are irrelevant. When I joined the advertising industry as an illustrator, what brought me in there was what? Illustration, right? But why will that guy notice me at the NYSC camp? Makosa dancing. You know, because I can give you these tips and you know that from wherever you are, there is something you have. You know, when I tell people, whatever you and wherever you find yourself, there is something that will help you. Okay. That will help you get to the next level. That thing is your relevancy. Because I could still remember how I got my next job to an advertising agency called Insight Communications. You know how? It's very simple. Boy, when I got to LTC, these guys were not helping matters because I was only doing illustrations, and something in me tells me that if I could learn how to use Photoshop and CorelDRAW, I should be able to earn some respect and some money. And they didn't want to teach me because then Nigeria, you know, there's this thing about lack of knowledge. It's not these days that, you know, you have Google, you just ask Google anything and YouTube, you learn. Trust me, in those days, there was no Google. In fact, we actually used magazines to scan imagery in order to design. But these days, you just go to Google, you see thousands and millions of images. And so these guys refused to teach me. They only sent me on errands. And guess what? The day I realized that if I learn what they know how to do, everything will stop. So what did I do? I started going to business centers. In those days, business centers for Yahoo boys. How many of you know all-night browsing? Yeah, I used to go all-night browsing, not to go and do Yahoo, but to learn from the Yahoo boys who do those Aproca certificates. Because those guys are good with Photoshop. So I learned how to use Photoshop from them. And the next, some 2 other guys joined the agency, some 2 young guys that, I could relate with. Because those other ones in the studio before didn't want to teach me. So those other 2 helped me with the fact that I already know a little bit of Photoshop, and they started teaching me. Within 3 weeks of the training, I learned how to use Photoshop such that I did a design, and of course, I competed with them on a particular brief, and the client approved my own design, and guess what? That design was put on billboard, truck back, and that was for Everwater. And bro, I'll tell you something. The moment you show what you can do, you become a showman. And I tell you. Coke sent a commendation letter to LTC commending that work. As if that was not enough, the upper week I did one for Limca. They also approved my design. The next thing, the agency bought me a system. And they stopped sending me on errands to go and buy food and run errands and do only illustrations. And Insight Communications noticed me and they called me. My salary increased in those days. Don't shout out. In those days, my salary increased from 20,000 to 122,000. Then, a brand new car is about 450K. Bros, I go collect one sharp out of 80. Alloy dream. Full option.
Yeah, that's it.
Relevant. Relevant. So, what I will tell you today of how relevant you are to the business, to the client, to whoever that will pay you money is how relevant you are. In fact, the way I like to put it is when you meet a client, and let me tell you this, please, when you meet a client, and somebody here will be thinking, maybe because you're already known and blah, blah, blah. Let me be honest with you. Start wherever you are. At one level, you move to another. When you meet a client, don't discuss money with the client.
Yes.
When you do that, the client is already thinking, you want my money. When you meet a client, discuss their business. In fact, when recently a client asked me to do a logo, I'm proud, don't beef me, I'm sorry. They asked me to do a logo, and of course, by the time I finished, I want to give you some tips that will help you. By the time I finished, when you start a logo, just logo, you have to carry out a research for the company. You have to interview the staff. And the client is like, is it not just logo? Are you sure I can pay for this? In my mind, you go pay, you go die. Me. The day I came to present the logo, I wish I didn't present with, I did a video. I did a video. You need to see oh my God. The rationale alone, you think you are in the movie theater. The day we came to present the thing. So finally, the client is like, are you sure I can pay? Because you see, when they see the level of your relevance, they are thinking, wow, you deserve any amount. Can somebody guess what I charged the client for the logo? Can somebody guess? $500,000. Yes? Next person? 3 million. But maybe I'm rubber. Next person? 300. Next person? Huh? 100,000. Okay, let me just say 3.3 million. And my check is down. And guess what? It's 6 logos. 6. 6 different brands. You don't get my point. Please don't follow me after now. Don't, yes. But guess what? The client sees value and they know I am serious about what I want to do for them. But there are different categories of clients. And let me also say that there are certain clients that will not pay you that money even if they have it. Do you know why? Because you don't have a track record, a pedigree. Something that tells them that, when you tell a client that you did the Limca logo. No, the guy that did the new Limca logo is the one talking to you. And you're not clapping. And Ever Water. Yeah, I did it. Polystar. How many of you know Polystar Electronics? Polystar. Come on, boy. I did it. So when you have that on your portfolio and you're sharing that with a client and is seeing the value you have added to some of that client, right? The relevancy is what makes you relevant. And I don't want to take your time. Let's talk about originality. I told you ROI because I don't know how much time I have. ROI is relevance, what? Originality and impact. Originality is scarce. And you know why? Because people think that for you to be original, you have to think out of the box. It's a big lie. Don't think out of the box. Stop thinking out of the box. You know what I tell people? Think inside the box. Let me explain what I mean. There is nothing new on the face of earth. No idea is new. Don't come and kill yourself. When I share this secret with my students, people are like, wow, but it's true. Whatever thing you're trying to do, some other person has done it and they've even done it so well. So someone will say, so are you encouraging us to copy? No. You see, you need to first of all learn the rules, then you change the rules. If you don't check out what people do, there's no way you can create an ad for a client that is into real estate without checking out what his counterparts are doing before you can shift a little bit from what they are doing. I'm telling you, if you don't do that, you're going to do a beautiful nonsense. And so the secret to originality is to check out what others are doing. Then you find a way around it. And that is what inspires what we teach at O2 Academy. I tell my students, if you want to win international awards, do a research on some of the award-winning works. Recently, Laurie's Awards, we got about 7 nominees, that is finalists. 7, and you're not clapping. Come, what is happening in this hall? 7. For the very first time in the history of advertising, and in fact, last year we won 1. But because of this xenophobia or something, Laurie's is the biggest advertising festival, Middle East and Africa, and is hosted in South Africa. So it's owned by South Africans, but it's the biggest award so far in Africa. And we felt that somehow these guys, the fact that we got to finalists means that we've done great work. And that they didn't give it to us, subjective, because, issues between Nigeria and South Africa, maybe that affected it. But we took pride in the fact that we could present our work and it got finalists about 7 work. How did we do that? We had to dig deep on what some of these guys see. You want to know how they do things. If you want to do stuff, go and check how those that did those stuff do those things. And it's even cheaper these days with a click of button on your phone, straight up. How many of you know recently, I'm going to show you a video of the work the students did, and we were on CNN, we were on BBC, everybody is talking about us, we go global. Why? Because we understand the principle of originality. You're a good student. Yeah, that's how it's done. I'm watching those that are not clapping. Look at this. Next slide.
Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt, the most famous woman in history.
See this guy. This guy. He's looking back. You will not graduate. What do you think?
Oh, awesome.
And guess what? We started getting calls from different clients to reproduce this stuff. We did it free, the first one. Wema Bank, we did one in front of their office. Just recently, I came back from Port Harcourt. Total Oil and Gas, we did 6 in Port Harcourt. And, bro, it is simple. Being original is not about going to think something that does not exist. My guy, all we did. Next one, you see, I'm real. This thing has been done in some other countries. You know what some people do? They just come and make this thing look like they are small God. They are bad like that. Stop that nonsense. They should stop it and tell us the truth. The truth is, we are thieves. We steal. And when you steal, don't get caught. If they catch you, you're on your own. Don't get caught. As a creative guy, go and check what every other person has done. Don't let people see you. Do it differently, and sometimes you can even combine plenty people work. See, we're here to open these things up because that's why you showed up. Are you with me? So don't think there's one very, the guy that came up with this idea, the guy told me, he said, treat this zebra crossing. I looked at the guy, I said, you're a thief. This thing why they teach you now, you that don't sabi and well. I said, come. I just said, go. Treat this zebra crossing. Everywhere. I saw one in India, another one in UK. This is that. I said, sharp guy. Oh boy, we did do it. But when we do the thing for Lagos, it went viral. Don't tell anybody. Are we together? That's the truth. And some clients will be like, wow, how do you do this thing? In my mind, you don't have a research culture. I go on the internet, I do my research, and when I come back, I make you pay for it. So what they pay you for is the time you sit back to go and research what some other people have done. Then find a way to localize it. In fact, there's a word for it, localization. Global idea, local relevance. Boy, you're not clapping. That's the spirit, man. I love this guy. You get one guy who wear shirt, one white shirt there. The guy know they clap and they watch her. This one don't repent, but that guy, you're my guy. I'm joking. And that's it. So Nigeria, don't tell me my time is up. Nigeria could actually do award-winning work and get recognized globally if we take a peep at the other side of the divide. Originality is not about, see, you don't go and kill yourself. I've seen one guy, the guy, they think. They think, create and they innovate. Shut up. Thief, and innovate. That's it. And don't quote me, I don't say you should go and steal. Because someone might, okay, this thing is doing, is it live? Jeez. Well, anybody that is connected to us live, we are saying the truth about what is happening, right? That's how we roll, man. Just go and check. I see some of these ads that this my guy showed. Bros, Bros, if I tell you something, see, comedy has been there. But if you don't go research, if you don't go check out stuff and localize it, do you understand? You won't come out fresh. There's no new idea. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. The wheel is already there. Just find a way and turn it around. I'm going to show you one other work that the students did, and I'll share with you the last one, and I sign out. Next slide. Impact. Okay? Can I see the next slide on impact? Now, impact. Guys, if you're doing anything, not now. Yes, keep it here. Impact. If you're doing anything and you are not making an impact, be it your client, be it your boss, be it anywhere you find yourself and you're not making an impact, trust me, you will quickly be forgotten. You can only be remembered for what? Creativity. You can only be remembered for what? That's a good one. You can only be remembered. You can only be remembered for what you contribute and not for what you consume. What people will talk about you for is the value you have added in their lives. And the value you add will determine the value that will be given back to you. I trained people for free for 4 years. And the school became an authority today by the grace of God because we decided to make impact. In fact, there was a particular guy we trained. This guy was a security guard working in an advertising agency called Insight Communications as a McGuard on uniform. And someone told us about this guy, brought him to O2, and 3 months of training. The guy moved from gates to become an art director. His entire life changed. Play the next video. I'm going to show you that guy because sometimes we tell these stories, it looks like, we are. Next slide.
Can we give a big round of applause to Ozone and Mbanefo? In fact, as he was talking, I was just looking. It was a whole lot to take in. I know that we're clapping, but I think you can make that clap a bit more bigger. It was a lot. He said so many things: originality, relevance, and I know that we got a lot. He said, "Think global but act local."